One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferraro. I'm the founder and spiritual director of SoulCall Global. And welcome to April, which I sounded like Lawrence Welk. I'm channeling. I don't know what I'm channeling this morning, but there's so much joy in the house this morning, literally and figuratively, as you'll find out later. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary since we launched this conscious global community. And we are so thrilled to share this month. We're just taking each week to share parts of the world with you, parts of our heart with you, part of how this whole thing came to fruition in the first place, and how we're making it real in the time-space continuum as we sit here today and talk with you. So a very special video clip is going to be coming up a little bit later with one of the co-founders of and co-visionaries of SoulCall Global, Erika Luckett. You've been hearing our music, and many of you know Erika, of course. But we have a little treasure of video that very many people aren't even aware of in circulation out there. So we're happy to share it. This morning's theme is love and cultivating divine love. And so Erika and I are going to tag team the talk this morning. Say that 5 times really fast and see how that feels. But first, we're going to begin, as we always do, with this spiritual practice of Qigong. It's an ancient art form. It's an ancient spiritual discipline of working with energy. As we know that the soul is the activating force that powers the body. It is the energy, the battery of the body is the soul. And there's energy all around us. Yogananda would say, I'm immersed in eternal love. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I live in this light. Divine spirit fills me within and without. And taking that idea, we could all understand the words I just shared. But when we put it into spiritual practice in motion, in these bodies, working with the energies that we have, the cosmic energy we have access to at all times, it changes our way of being in the world and ignites us with a particular presence that is palpable in ourselves. So this morning, we're going to offer a Qigong practice. I invite you to participate with Deborah Weisenberger-Lippitz. Enjoy and do it.
We are continuing in our seated healing posture. We are going to be moving slowly from left to right. So please sit forward on the edge of your seat. The legs should be at a 90-degree angle from the body. Okay. Now look forward from inside the mind's home through yin tongue, outward to merge with infinite space. Gather all the healing chi, love, wisdom, and pull it back through yin tongue to the center of the head, and very gently close the eyes. The chin tucks in to merge with the neck, so chi can flow easily from tip to toe. Now, all senses are inside. Therefore, the mind is relaxed. The mind's consciousness, our heart mind, can come forth. Please allow your arms to be pulled upward in front of the chest to a comfortable position, palms facing inward. Be aware of holding a chi ball between the hands and the arms. This loving chi field in between the arms. This space in between the arms covers the front, the top, behind us, both sides and below us. Very comfortable chi field inside and out. Now relax the hands, becoming pure chi. The whole body is chi from tip to toe. Relax into chi. Now slowly turn to the left. This entire chi field and chi body turning, then back to the front. Place the mind's consciousness in between the kidneys. Turn to the right, in between the kidneys, Mingmong area. Open up the gate of life vitality to the front, to the left, chi inside and out, circling gently. To the right, circling, spiraling, transforming. Continue slowly, circling to the left, chi uniting, transforming. Very safe, comfortable. Now bring this huge chi field inside, placing the centers of the palms on top of the navel. Chi inside and out, transforming. Place your mind's consciousness back into the mind's home. Relax the hands to the lap. Gently open the eyes, smiling from the inside out.
Geez, I wasn't ready for that to come right back in. I was just relaxing, the hands to the left, exhaling, allowing myself to be present in this moment. And recognizing that it is love at the center of our being, that sacred love we talk about, which makes us equal in the eyes of Creator. It's that spark of the infinite love that brings us forth to have our being as all that we are, as our creative expressions. So allow yourself to stay in that peaceful space and take in this beautiful song, a Seek Her 7 special, Love Makes Us Equal.
Love gives you more. Practice everything you're able. Connect to a part of you that's faithful. Make room for those not like you at your table. Call it angels, call the moon doves. Only thing between us. Don't have time to not say what we mean. Might not have much time left as human beings. No one ever knows how much time they have. Love makes us equal. Love makes us equal.
Love makes us equal. Natalia Zuckerman wrote that, and of course, gosh, just getting to take in the energy of that again. We can't wait till we can get into the same space and sing some more. Very soon, may it be the case. But this place of love makes us equal, and the theme today is love. There's so many different variations of talks someone can give on love. You know, there's the hierarchy of love, the ladder of love, all these different things. But today, the main thing I'm interested in sharing is that whole idea of loving God and thy neighbor as thyself. You know, it reminds me of, you know, loving God is one thing, but loving your neighbor as yourself. It reminds me of many years ago when I lived in Pittsburgh, there was this dry cleaner. His name, believe it is a true story, his name is Tony Neroni. You gotta love that. Tony Neroni was in business as a dry cleaner for 30 years. And one afternoon, picking up dry cleaning, there's a sign in the window, congratulations, celebrating 30 years. So stepping inside, and there's Tony eating a sandwich on his break. It was one of those chopped chipped ham sandwiches, you know, chopped chipped ham. For those of you that used to eat meat, maybe you remember them growing up on hot Italian bread with ice cold. I don't know. So anyhow, it was so funny because he's standing there eating his lunch, and the question, Tony, 30 years, man, congratulations. Do you still love the business after 30 years? And Tony's response was, oh, I love the business. It's the people I can't stand, which is hilarious. And I think about that. Obviously, I've never forgotten this story, because how is that like love the Lord thy God with all your heart, your soul, your strength, and your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself? Sometimes it's easier to love God than it is to love thy neighbor. But that's what we're called to do in this space of humanity. As human beings, it is the highest order of business, is to cultivate this loving heart. So to love the Lord thy God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, first we must know that the desires of our heart, the contents of our heart. What's in there? What might be in there precluding us from offering our whole heart to the infinite? Is it a little desire that we have? Is it a wrong? Is it a hurt? What are we harboring? What are we nurturing and growing that has been in there for years and years and years? You know, this morning, you know, how often do we look back to see what hurt us or who hurt us, or how we can forgive and let it go? This morning, something very small. There are always little reminders. Always something there to remind me that the infinite is showing us things as best it can. Sometimes we can hear the voice, that still small voice. It's not always so still and small. But I was walking upstairs this morning to my meditation room, and on the way up the steps, I've got one of those little things where I hang my keys. I could stick mail in it, and it's on the wall. And as I walked up, I caught it with my elbow. I knew it was there, but I've never done that before. But this time, the thing that's different is, you know how sometimes if you trip over something on the sidewalk, I think Ellen DeGeneres does a whole scoop on this. You trip over it, you got to turn around to see what it was. Or if you bang your elbow, you turn around to see where you hit it. This time, I didn't even look. I banged my elbow, and I just touched my elbow, and I just kept going. And the next thought that came in was like dropped in from, I don't know where, was this notion of, I know what I did. I hit my elbow on something. If I look back to see what it was, I'm looking backwards instead of forward. And I'm looking back at the thing that caused me a temporary blip on my way up the stairs to something more beautiful and joyful, which was meditation. And in my mind, I knew what it was, but it doesn't matter what it was. I don't need to solidify any energy around that thing that happened. And it sounds like such a minor practice or a minor thing that happened. But for me, it was so subtle that it was profound. It made me think exactly what I'm sharing with you this morning is the question, where and why do we have the habit of looking back to see what hurt us. Because somehow it makes a connection when we do that. And we bring it forward, whether we want to or not, whether we realize it or not. So perhaps in offering all our heart to the infinite, we can begin the practice of don't look back. See what's in there. And, we have spiritual practices coming up. We're going to start meditations on Mondays to help us to open wide my heart. Part of the opening wide the heart is to allow whatever is in there to be released. If it's pure love, well, we can't have more of that being released in the world ever, can we? And if it's these things that came before that kind of hurt us or challenged us, let's let those go too. But then to love the Lord thy God with all your mind. When we meditate, our mind is only on the thought of God, or all of the things we do to the least of our brothers and sisters or to our neighbors, we do with the thought of pleasing the God in others, because everything is God. It all came from source. There's only one, by many names, all of these different ways of approaching the infinite and allowing it to approach us. It's this practice of remembering, like we talked about last week. But love is that thing. It's that eternal force. So to love the Lord thy God with all your heart, we must go through our hearts and make it a clear, wide vessel. Unload all of those desires. Do not dry the ocean of my love with the fires of my desires, with the fires of my restlessness. That's a Yogananda. Do not dry the ocean of my love with the fires of my desires, restlessness, those things we didn't get. Sometime in adults' mind, if those of you who have children or who are responsible for the care of others, maybe others' children, remember how when you were a little kid and the person who was your primary care person, maybe it was your parent or another loving adult who was put in you were put in their charge, when they would say, no, you can't have this thing. Oh my God, our little minds, our child's mind cannot understand why the answer was no. And then maybe decades later, you are responsible for a child and you have to tell the child, no, you can't have that. You know why you're saying no. And maybe it harkens back to the time, oh my gosh, I remember when my parents told me no. They were trying to keep me from something in order to offer me something greater. So sometimes the infinite tells us no, or the thing it doesn't show up the way we wanted it to, in an effort to offer us something even more amazing than what we would have asked for. So it's this, the desires are endless. Just give those up for the consciousness of the only thought, the only desire is for this communication, this relationship with the infinite. And then all of our strength is meditation. Be still and know that I am God, turning off all the energy, bringing it back to the altar of the spine and brain. And then all my heart, all my soul, all my strength, and all my mind, all my soul. Your soul's calling. Everything we do is about getting that expression out. Your soul's expression, your soul's calling. And in this anniversary month of SoulCall Global, we are celebrating the realization that we each have a unique expression of the infinite. And I would like to share with you this morning a brilliant soul who was a co-visionary of SoulCall Global. Many of you know Erika Luckett. And some months after she made her transition, I was gifted this clip from my good friend Lisa Garcia, Reverend Lisa Garcia in Reno, the Center for Spiritual Living, Reno. Erika and I were there doing workshops. I did a choir workshop and we did a couple other things. And then we performed with their group on Sunday morning. And Erika was given the opportunity to give about a 10-minute talk. And she spoke about love. And in this, love the Lord thy God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind, and your neighbor as yourself. I just want you to get a sense, for those of you who've not had the privilege of knowing this beautiful human, the co-founder of SoulCall Global. And now I share that distinction, that co-founder and co-visionary with Natalia Zuckerman, Reverend Christy Hardwick, and David Leonard. As we bring this to fruition for you now, Erika and I kind of charged this thing for many years together. And so please take this in, be ready for the power and the force of Erika Luckett as she speaks about love.
And there's nothing like being immobile to realize it's not about the doing, but about the being. So in that hospital room where my beautiful Lisa was there, just being my guardian and my companion and ally in this transformational process, I just realized that if I could just be in a field of love, that was enough. And what happened was that in that hospital room, that was simply us being resonant elements of love, nurses started to come in and take their breaks in that peaceful sanctuary. That love became its own sanctuary, and as agents and holders, keepers, growers, cultivators, nurturers of that space of love and that presence of love, we grew in our hospital room a sacred oasis where people could come and be nourished. And it was uncanny, because it was just, nurses would come in and just sit and say, it just feels so peaceful in here. And I just smiled. I couldn't really say much, but I just smiled in the knowing that sometimes we want so much to do to fix the world outside. And the deepest transformation comes when we simply resonate from that field and that essence of our inherent nature. We are love. At the core, when we remember who we are love. And that love comes from also recognizing that we are not separate. We are all different aspects of the one. We never know how we're going to die or what we're going to think of when we die. And certainly in this journey, even at the time, I knew it wasn't about living or dying, because we're all going to die. I wrote in my journal, if I have 6 days or 6 months or 6 years to live, may I simply love in this moment and this day as fully as I can. And it was brought right to the fore. At one point, 10 days after my surgery, I was having my stitches removed, and all of a sudden I felt a sharp pain in my chest, and the attending physician was very alarmed. She was concerned that maybe one of these pulmonary embolisms had breached this filter that they had placed to protect me. And so we were rushed to the emergency room, told that I possibly had 30 minutes to live. And that was really surreal. Lisa by my side on the gurney, getting pushed into the emergency room, and they realized that I was in such a fragile state that it would not make any sense to do an open heart surgery on me, because I wouldn't survive that. So it was basically just sit and wait, or in my case, lie down and wait. And so there I was, lying down, and Lisa was there by my side. And there was really nothing to say. But what was so clear and profound and beautiful about being brought to the precipice of what could have been the end of my life, and being conscious, not asleep or in a coma, but awake, was that I saw so clearly all these things fall away. Like all the ideas of what I was here to do and be and accomplish, and all the external evidence of a successful life, it didn't matter. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is love. How we honor that deepest relationship within ourselves with our sacred source, and how we honor our recognition of the loving oneness that each of us is a facet of. It was just love, love, love. So I simply share with you this today, that regardless of how chaos might present in the world, in your lives, in our lives. Each one of us is that outlet to that infinite consciousness of God. And each one of us in every moment makes the choice to tune in and be an extension of that divine consciousness, or to remain separate from it in a place of fear or worry or reaction. When we take that conscious moment to say, yes, I am love, what does love do in this circumstance? How can I grow love? How can I be more loving? Then we get to be active participants in the evolution of this collective planet consciousness. Ernest Holmes says, love sees only love, and only love sees love. Let's be that love. Let's live that love. Let's love unabashedly, courageously, fearlessly, unflinchingly. It's the only thing that matters. We are here to love and be awake in the transformation of our collective consciousness. And each one of us, regardless of the challenges we are facing, and especially because of the challenges we are facing, get to be those active transformers, the ones that are the agents of change, the ambassadors of love, the presence of the oneness in every circumstance, in every possible conflict, in every potential difficulty, in every expression of chaos. Chaos exists any time that any system goes through a period of change. It must go through a period of chaos. And it either collapses or it reorders at a higher level of functioning. So when we face chaos, either in health or difficulties in our life, or in terrorism or challenges in the world, it's simply an invitation to up-level our consciousness to a higher state of awareness and love. Love, love, love. Our lives depend on it. Thank you.
That's just a supercharged talk, as they all are. Yeah, wow, 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 people are saying. You know, so bookending that notion of being the people who flip it on for each other. I wanted to share this with you last week in the room. At 11 o'clock, we always go into the Zoom room after, and we invite everyone to come in to, we do the SoulCall rewind. And last week, as the conversation went, I shared something that is so appropriate to share during our anniversary right now. We, many years ago in the Bay Area, Erika and I performed a concert at an art gallery. And it was a beautiful space for a concert. And Erika is incredible, Terry. Yes, she is. And she's very much alive in all of the things we do. Yes, Yolanda, who's going to be joining us next week, Yolanda. We met you in Switzerland. Can't wait to have you on the program next week, sharing your wisdom with us from South Africa. But getting back to the point, I love seeing these little scrolls, but then I get very excited to say hello to everyone. We were doing this concert, and it was a Valentine's Day concert, but it was in the Bay Area in an art studio. And the artist whose show was hung on the walls also came. And while we sang, it was a fundraiser for SoulCall. This was February 12th, 2011. February 12th, 2011. And we asked her to paint as we sang. And we did our concert, and this is what, her name was Rochelle Carr, by the way. And you can't get it all in. Can't figure out where I am with this. I feel like in some, there it is. And it's called Ricky's Hearts. And it was painted by Ricky M. It was she and a 9-year-old inspired this, which is really amazing. And it's, when I turn it over, this is from 2011. I don't know if you can see it. It says, for the benefit of SoulCall. Can you see it? from 2011. And it was our benefit concert. But one of the things, somebody came up afterward and wanted to purchase it. And I said, oh, it's not for sale. And he said, well, I'll give you $1,000 for it. And Eddie looked at me and I said, I really appreciate that, but it's not for sale. It is going to hang on the walls in the halls of SoulCall once we establish our retreat center. It's going to be one of the first things we put up on the walls. And Erika got this big smile and she looked at him. She said, it's not for sale. And so here it's been with us as we moved from the Bay Area to here, and now it hangs in the hall on the wall in our home here, my home, and it will hang in the halls of SoulCall Global Retreat Center. Once that comes to fruition, as it is, everything is conspiring for this to manifest itself in this lifetime. So I want to share that with you so you can get caught up in the vision and the charge. You know, it's been just over 10 years since this piece of art was created. And so pull that in and know that Erika is still offering us this zing of energy. You know, love is this invisible thread that connects all hearts. And it is always with us. And she's always with us. And the infinite source of all that is what enables us to love the Lord thy God with all our heart, soul, strength, and mind, and our neighbor as ourself. And so one step at a time, one practicing the presence at a time, and just do the best we can every moment and every day. And some days are going to be better than other days. They're going to be more effective at this practice. But just recognize, as long as we're making the effort, just continue to make the effort and be with courage. Don't be discouraged. It's a practice. You got to relearn some habits sometime along the way, but get jazzed in it. And someday in the near future, you'll be invited to come and do a retreat with all of us at SoulCall Global, wherever that's going to manifest on the planet. But it's in process. And to juice this all up even further, one of our beautiful friends, Gary Lynn Floyd, has a song called Love Be With You.
Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, may good flow to you, let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you. Love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Ooh, love be with you. Love be with you. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free. Share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in. Truth come through you, make good flow to you, and let joy renew you, till we meet again. Love be with you. Ooh, 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 love be with you. Love you.
Love you too, Gary Lynn Floyd. Gary Lynn Floyd is going to be joining us. When I say us, I mean Natalia Zuckerman and Reverend Christy Hardwick. This Wednesday is a very special first-year anniversary soul session. Wednesday, April 14th, soul sessions, 7 p.m. Eastern. Join us. You can go onto our website, soulcallglobal.org, and on the drop-down where it says Evolve, click on Soul Sessions to pre-register to get the link to come in live and meditate and sing and here's some inspirational poetry, juicing up that love vibration within your own heart and soul, clearing the way for this beautiful love, which is you. So join us on Wednesday. And right now, I am very excited to introduce to you, and if you just thought it couldn't get any more joyful, well, look out, because here comes the Soul Squad. Where are you all? We're going to invite you into the Zoom room for the StreamYard Cafe. Oops, I got to get my earbuds on. I don't know where I put them. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. How about if we bring Joy and Michelle first, and Kathy, we'll come back for you. Will that help? Hi.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
Hey, yeah.
Love me
I
with
think
you.
it's my earbuds over there. Hold on a
Okay.
second.
All right.
Hiya.
Help!
Wait, let's mute everybody and
Okay.
just sing
Hey.
a song while we wait. Yeah.
Second
Sing
curve.
a song about the
Look at-
earbuds.
look at
Put
the-
your earbuds on. Yeah. Get 'em on, get 'em on.
Oh,
dogs
that's so
are,
good.
the dogs are coming in.
Okay, gotta go.
Don't try this at home is the
Yeah. There you go. There
So-
you go.
behind the scenes. We've had the Soul Squad on there. There's Kara Gerdeman. Joy is joining us from Livermore, California. She is our Soul Squad pod in California. And the next time we do this, you're going to be meeting a gentleman who's a Soul Squad pod in Boulder, Colorado. We've got pods and squads all across the country in North America, and I think we're going to be starting some in some other countries as well. So some other continents. Welcome, Joy, and welcome. Michelle Fott is right here, aka the Soul Squad Muse, and you can see why. But we're doing some amazing things coming up. Tell us what's happening in April.
Okay, so the speech today, the little message today was amazing, right? Be an extension of divine consciousness. Thank you, Etika. Ambassadors of love. That's exactly what we're going to be doing. So talk about planting that seed a long time ago. We're going to be sharing and celebrating that first anniversary, doing an event called Sowing the Seeds of Love and Rock Painting. And we're also going to be collecting food that day. So we're going to be meeting in the park April 24th. We're going to be distributing some seeds to be planted and spreading joy and love everywhere. We're going to be doing some rock painting that we did in our first year. This is becoming an annual event. And then we're going to be collecting non-perishable food items to help our next event coming up in May. So we are rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling. Being an extension of divine. Yeah.
And if you would like to be part of the Soul Squad, or if you'd like to be a Soul Squad pod captain in your city, drop us a line at soulsquad@soulcallglobal.org. Now, I'd like to invite Joy in from Livermore, California. How did you get roped into this? What in the world?
Kicking and screaming. Just kidding. I did a retreat with Lisa and with Natalia way back in January 2020 before the pandemic came and put us in separate pods. But I tell you what, these are, when you were little and you wanted to hang out with the cool kids on the playground, these are the cool kids. Soul Squad is the cool kids, and it's like today. SoulCall, my heart just boom, 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 and who doesn't? I just don't want the session to end. So I have taken classes, singing classes, retreats, doing qigong, and so dare I say, I've had a soul growth spurt. So I just hanging out with these folks. So of course, when you feel that, you want to try and give back to your community. And so I'm trying to do that in the East Bay. So if you're in this area and you want to help me out, let me know. We're going to get a pod going here in a lovely wine country.
Again, that's Soul Squad at SoulCall Global. Joy, thank you for stepping in. Michelle, thank you for stepping in. The work we do is meaningful, and sometimes it's hot and heavy and quick, but we've got to say how much fun we have. I've never had so much fun working so hard with such fabulous people. The work we do is just nourishing others. Right now, we're still doing food drives as well, because we find even though some stimulus checks went out and things are starting to turn around, there's still a large group of people who are struggling. So we thank you for your donations. But before we get into asking for more donations, circulate the stimulus. Yeah. You could send us that soulcallglobal.org/donate. Now, some of you may be wondering, wait a minute, when I started following Soul Call last year, you guys started out as Soul Call Ministries. What the heck happened? Well, very quickly, we switched to Soul Call Global because it was more representative of creating a conscious global community. And it's more what we do. We are not a hierarchy. We are not tethered to any particular religious dogma. We serve the soul, the truth of who we are, and we believe in direct communion with the infinite. And so we just take it out into the world. As it created us, we offer that beautiful creation back to itself in the form of our expression. That's who we are. But the reason that we were able to just switch on a dime like that was because of the brilliance, the dedication, and boy, the heart. Seriously, her heart and soul. Kathy Rausch is our web. Now, she's our web goddess. And Mandala Maven. Thank you so much for how agile you've been. And we've got some new things we're going to be rolling out in the next week or so on the website, SoulCall Global. Kathy, thank you for stepping in and making all of this possible. Like in 2 days, you turned it around. I called you from the back room of Juice Company. Like, we got to change the name.
And I was like, okay, I can do that. I can do that. Because my brain is going, how am I going to do that? How am I going to do that? Right. But yeah, I mean, it made so much sense. And I'm like others. I love the love. And when I met you and Attica, it was like a blast of love. And so I've been, just wanting to be part of it. So when you asked me to do the website initially, I was like, absolutely, yes. And then when you called me, I was, yes, I'll do what needs to be done. There still are some glitches. The store is not quite up, but it will be this week.
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you. And it's just great because as things evolve, and as things change and as we grow, things change. We're adaptable. We're flexible to what's incoming. So there's nothing really rigid about what we're doing, except if there's anything we're serious and dedicated to and committed to doing it one way, it's just this open-hearted, loving awareness and practicing the presence of God in everything we do, treating everybody with respect. So I respectfully said, how can we do this? You're like, we can do it.
And that's the beautiful thing about the web. It can change, and it can change very quickly. Right. So, and if there's mistakes, you fix them. And if there's problems, you fix them.
Well, I thank you all for joining us this morning. And Joy, getting you out of bed bright and early. But thank you for being here with us this morning and for all the things you do. And again, if you want to join the Soul Squad in your area, drop us a line, soulsquad@soulcallglobal.org. April 18th, next Sunday, very excited to offer at 11 o'clock in place of the rewind. We are going to have our first annual meeting of Soul Call Global. We have so many exciting things to share, where we've been and what is on the immediate horizon. A very exciting day. Everybody is welcome. So share it with your friends, whether they're regulars with Soul Call or not. Please circulate that information. Go to the website, soulcallglobal.org, on the homepage and click on the link to pre-register to come into the first annual meeting of Soul Call Global. It's going to be so much fun and lots of information about some of the things that are happening behind the scenes, how it's going, what we're doing, how we work, and how you can participate more fully as the expression of the infinite as you are. So once again, I mentioned we've got this coming Wednesday, Soul Sessions with Natalia, Gary Lynn Floyd, and Reverend Christy Hardwick, 7 p.m. And then this week with Wake Up with the Consciousness Cafe, 7 a.m. Can't remember who we have this week. It's just so amazing. But next week also, Yolanda is going to be joining us to do the co-talk with me. So that's going to be an exciting thing. April 24th, Whetstone Park, Soulstone Painting in the Park, and Sowing the Seeds of Love. All are welcomed. That's going to be such a great day. We're going to be in one of the pavilions down in the park there. And Natalia, you want to pop in here and share our SoulCall Cinema feature for this month?
Hi again.
Hi.
Everybody. Yes, here we go. Yeah, let me put up this link. So if you go to drawdown.org, there is a series of 6 little videos. They're about 10 to 15 minutes. One's like 21 minutes long, but there's some are shorter, some are longer. About climate solutions. It's a really amazing organization, and it's fun. It's not terrifying like a lot of environmental stuff you watch, because it's solution oriented, which is amazing and really unique, I think. So please watch this series at your leisure throughout the month. And on April 26th, we'll get together on Zoom at 7 p.m. You can sign up for that link at soulcallglobal.org. I believe it's the same link as the Wake Up. But anyway, the link is there, and it's also in our newsletter. If you're not signed up for our newsletter, please do that on the website too. But anyway, you can watch these series of 6 videos, having breakfast in the morning, and then we'll get together and discuss what we have learned and co-teach one another like we do. So looking forward to it.
What I love about these videos that you found for us is, like you said, it's offering solutions. And because sometimes you can walk away feeling like, oh my God.
What did I do? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, I mean, there's a level of that because it's honest and it's science-based. So there's just truth, but there's also, can one person make a difference? Why, yes, indeed. So I hope that you all enjoy it, and we'll all learn something from it and from each other.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being with us this morning. We appreciate your donations, and no donation is too large or too small. We've got the Soulstone Painting in the Park happening, but then the first weekend in May, we're doing another food drive. We're doing the food drive all throughout the month of April, but then we're going to be bagging the groceries, the foods and love up, and distributing it in the communities around here and some of the other states, if we can get everybody together on it. So we use those funds to circulate the love in the form of nourishment. So we thank you for that. It helps us to keep going. It helps us to get guest speakers and artists and all of the things that we get to offer as SoulCall Global. So we thank you for your contributions. They go a long way, and it means so much to us. So thank you for circulating the stimulus. If you want to send us some of those donations, believe me, we've got lots we could be doing with them to make a positive impact in your community. So thank you so much. And if you are in need of prayer, our prayer team, prayers@soulcallglobal.org, is here for you, with you. We're noticing an uptick of prayer requests, and we're so grateful that you allow us into the energy of your being, allowing us to pray for you, to help manage the challenges that come our way here in this field of love that we all get to dance with. So thank you for allowing us to be part of your life in this really sacred way. And we take this responsibility very seriously and very sacredly. So thank you. So once again, thank you for joining us. I'll see you at 11 o'clock in the Zoom room for the SoulCall Sunday Rewind. I'm happy to meet so many of you there. And you could sign up for the link on the homepage, soulcallglobal.org. Thank you all for popping in this morning. And remember, wherever you are on the planet, you are loved. Peace and many blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love.